So we're going to look at how we determine the domain and range of quadratic functions and represent these domain and range using inequalities. So let's start with a few examples. Before we start, we need to note that quadratic functions are often written in the form of f of x is equal to a x minus h squared plus k, and the vertex is at hk. So the first example is that y is equal to 1/2 x squared. So here is the graph, and here's our table value. When we observe the graph, we see that all the x value is all real numbers, because these arrows are going in both directions. So we write down the domain as all real numbers. Then we try to find the value of the range. We see that the graph is completely above the x-axis. In other words, above the line y is equal to 0. So we note that the range is y is greater than or equal to 0. In this case, a was equal to 1/2, while k was equal to 0. The second example, y is equal to x minus 2 squared plus 3. And we draw the graph out. The domain is always all real numbers. So domain is all real numbers in this graph also, because these arrows are going in both directions. However, for range isn't all real numbers. Instead, the whole graph is above the line y is equal to 3, which makes the range y is greater than or equal to 3. So we write down domain as all real numbers, and range is y is greater than or equal to 3. In this case, a was equal to 1 and k was equal to 3. Okay, the last example. Y is equal to negative x minus 2 squared plus 3, and we draw the graph out. Again, domain was all real numbers. But the range is y is less than or equal to 3. Why is that? Because the whole graph is below the line y is equal to 3. We should really notice the sign change here. This one is greater than or equal to, and this one is less than or equal to. So we have a is equal to negative 1, while k is equal to 3. So after looking at these three graphs, let's make some conclusions. We have this function f of x is equal to a x minus h squared plus k. So remember that the domain is always all real numbers for all graphs. While the range is associated with the value of a and the value of k. When the value of a is greater than 0, range is y is greater than or equal to k. While a is less than 0, the range is y is less than or equal to k. This is how we write an inequalities. Is this really true though? We can go back to our graphs and check. For this one, when a is positive, the range is greater than or equal to. And when a is positive, y is greater than or equal to k. However, for this one, when a is negative 1, the sign of the range is less than or equal to. So this one is less than or equal to k. So when you're trying to find the domain and range of a quadratic function, it's actually pretty simple. Domain is always all real numbers, and for range, when a is greater than 0, range is y is greater than or equal to k. And when a is less than 0, range is that y is less than or equal to k. And that is it. Thank you.